Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more words. I'm sure I've already said that. My name is The Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, what's this episode about?
This episode is on the wrong page to start off with, and it's
As usual.
about chaos. Hey.
What?
Hey. Delete.
There we go.
Hey.
Okay, what's this last chapter about?
Okay, so hold me tightly. This last episode is about Tresca and Rokai, and they're discussing whether or not Rokai is actually a part of them. And there's a red blinking light, which I didn't quite understand.
I don't know that it was meant to be understood, but I think it was his signal to Sloane. Or Sloane asking him to come or something like that.
I see. Okay.
It didn't fully explain it, but it was kind of talked about when it showed up.
Yeah.
Without being explicit, yeah.
Okay. And then Tresca explains what happened to Nathaniel and his family and the Seed of Chaos. And then...
Which you have a little more appreciation for now.
Then you have Draylin and Nathaniel coming in, and Tresca and Rokai's wedding, which is
quote unquote.
Is a quote unquote wedding.
It's not really a wedding. But
It's not.
It's the thing that they did that proved that they weren't going to leave each other anymore.
Yes, and Tresca got a really pretty necklace that's connected to Rokai's really pretty fingerless gloves.
But this like gem that recedes into his arm, it looks all funky. Yeah.
It's like a tattoo with like dermals. In my head. Dermal piercings. So you have the gems sticking.
Kind of, yeah, like dermal piercings. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Where you insert the thing in directly rather than go through a piece of skin.
Yeah.
It's just a one connection point.
Right.
People have it above their belly, on their chest, sometimes in their cheek.
Yeah, in their cheeks.
Although I don't know, do they go through with that? I don't really know.
I think the dimple ones do go through as a full piercing.
But there are some.
There are some like on your cheeky bones. It's wherever like there's bone behind it.
Here, like a Marilyn Monroe mole.
That's up.
Oh, it's up here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up here.
I've seen them up there too. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Kind of like the mole.
Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, it's just like people get.
Oh yeah, almost like dermal piercings. Yeah, and her lace kind of embedded into her, and it kind of like became a part of her.
That's what it kind of reminds me of. It's like it became this metal tattoo.
And the gem you can kind of see through to this light in her.
Yeah. And yeah, that was the last chapter.
And now we have a threat. To put it nicely. Nathaniel should have trusted his instinct, but he didn't, and for that he saw the Seed of Chaos once more. The bodies were cleaned up this time, but the stains and the craters echoed the danger that he had witnessed. This time he wanted to talk. The chaos is weak around you. Not long until I have a corporeal form to expand the chaos of this world. Its dark intent dripped off of every word. His magic was useless. It never did what he wanted, and it never did what he wanted when he was around the creature. This is why, instead of speeding up, everything took on an ethereal stillness. The words themselves seemed to stagnate in front of his mouth. I will hold up my end of the bargain. I know I will hold up my end of the bargain. You know I will, he said loudly. The bodies reappeared in the craters. Then more bodies appeared in the craters around him. The children in pieces again. Let me go so I can reap your chaos. It let him go, whispering in his ear, you must do it soon, or it will be all you do. It echoed in his head until he saw Rokai's massive tower jutting up out of the mountain. He slowed to a walk. When he arrived outside the city below... He slowed to a walk when he arrived outside the city below. Everywhere he looked, he saw the Seed of Chaos sitting out there, waiting for him. It was giving him a massive headache. He walked up to the entrance of the castle. Look at the havoc you could raise in this pathetic town. Little people living little lives. Chaos will always unthread the greater tapestry of fate. Help me. Be my disciple. Together we can unthread everything. Return it to nature's sweet embrace. Nathaniel appeared to be a madman screaming in the town square. The Seed of Chaos provoked him, showing him images of what could happen to the townspeople. Gruesome image after gruesome image involving the people around him. He collapsed. A guard came up to him. Is everything okay? Do you need any help? In his head, those were his last words, and he died in a number of ways. Get me to Rokai, he gasped. The next thing he knew, he was sitting on a bench. A bird flew in next to him. Nathaniel was catatonic. The vision had a will of its own. Nathaniel held it back. It was all he could do. The bird next to him cracked Draylin into existence. You don't seem well, Draylin said, sitting next to him. I must ensue chaos, but I will not, he said simply. You must, or you are mine, the immortal voice reminded him. He ignored it, favoring Draylin's voice. Then fear not, my friend. I understand as I understand it, there is a great battle, and together we will create chaos there. I don't want to kill anyone. In my world, I'm afraid you wouldn't have that choice. It is life or death. No, that would be too easy. When our loved ones are taken and tortured, it becomes life with death. True nobility like yours is too rare to give up to the chaos. I didn't read it. He paused, thinking. True nobility like... I just paused to think. True nobility like yours is rare to give up to chaos. I don't want you to enjoy the fight, but... I don't need you to enjoy the fight, but I will. Does it need to be you, or do you simply need to be around it? Nathaniel moaned. The creature was excited. A battle will suffice. Give it to me, or make this town suffer. The images began to release him. His migraine eased. Draylin placed his hand on his shoulder, saying, I will go ahead and check on Tresca. Then his bones cracked into the form of a bird and flapped its wings away. The pain in his head eased as the guard returned with a warm towel and something to eat. Are you feeling all right, sir? The man asked, handing Nathaniel a towel. He rubbed it all over his face. He was unaware of how much he was sweating. It felt like he was wiping away the chaos. He looked up at the guard. I'm here for Tresca of Love and Rokai of Plenty. I need you to take me to them. It is urgent. The guard dropped the food he was holding and prompted him to follow along. Nathaniel followed him to Rokai, who was elated. Finally, we have things to do. Hurry, this way to the other room. The guard stayed behind. They walked into the other room. Then they walked into the other room.
And we know what happens in there.
A little bit. Up to the point of, what happened.
So, it's a very interesting thing that Nathaniel made this deal with Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not very happy with his... It seems like he's just not very happy with himself.
He made a deal that he didn't necessarily want to make, didn't he?
Yeah.
But it was, in theory, going to save everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Prevent more chaos. Save the children's.
The children's? Yeah. But, and Draylin trying to be helpful. Like, first he's sitting there thinking of his world, where there is no option.
It's life with death.
Life with death.
It's not either or.
And then...
Which I wouldn't say is too different from this world. Life or death seems like the wrong way to look at it.
And it does seem like he praises Nathaniel's nobility a bit, knowing that that's not something can see in his world. I feel like that was a praise.
No, you don't see nobility in a world where you're ravaged.
Yeah.
It's a rare sight.
And then Draylin tries to help Nathaniel by coming up with solutions. Like, do you have to be causing
Mm-hmm.
it, or do you just have to be there? And in a way, Nathaniel is causing it, but he's just not the tool that's being used.
Yeah, it's like the tool that the creature is using isn't doing what the creature wants, but it is the tool that the creature is using.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as long as Nathaniel puts things into motion for Chaos, it seems Chaos is happy with that. Yeah. Happy enough. Because he's getting a little bit, Chaos is getting a little bit of what he wants with that.
I see. Yeah, the Sea of Chaos, I mean, it's an ally as well as an enemy for Nathaniel. And that's the point I'm trying to make, that there is something he is going through. It's messing with his magic, so he can't do it properly whenever he wants. And it's causing him mental anguish. And I don't necessarily talk about that beforehand because I guess it wasn't as serious. And on his way back after seeing it again, he just kind of, even though it was a brief glimpse, I guess, because he was going so
I also feel a little bit like he's been trying to hide it.
Yes.
And the more he tries to hide it,
the louder it's going to get.
The louder it's going to get.
And this is the straw that broke the camel's back.
Seeing it on that field. Yeah. Seeing it in action. Yeah. Doing things.
Oh, no, it hasn't done anything yet. It does things in the future.
And this kind of explains why when he was trying to search for Draylen, it wasn't quite working.
Mm-hmm.
Because Chaos was...
Something wasn't right.
Yeah. Chaos was
getting tired of not doing something. Because this was supposed to be another fight with Force, but it wasn't. Because, it was satisfying his fight with Grolic for Chaos. So it didn't need to say so much. It wasn't affecting him as much, but now it's been a while. And he's being reminded of chaos he could ensue.
And then they're going to Rokai, and no chaos is happening again. So, like, when are you going to give me the thing you promised? Like, you promised me this chaos. There's these 4 people you have to get through, and you're not getting through them the way I want you to.
Chaos! Yes.
But that, chaos, this is chaos for somebody else. Sloane thinks he has these 2 people on his side, and granted, he may feel
if it was in Sloane's arms, but it's not.
Well, no, this is chaos being caused to Sloane. The army is not taken down, but it's taken away from somebody.
But it's not Nathaniel necessarily doing it. It's Force doing it.
Or Tresca.
Or Tresca. It's somebody else. Nathaniel's not being chaos as he should be.
Yeah.
So we'll see to that.
It's not pleasing enough. Oh no. I got hiccups.
Well, is there anything else we need to say about this?
I don't see anything really other than the guy brings out food for Nathaniel, and Nathaniel's like, I need to go, and the guy just throws the food on the ground.
He drops it and in a panic to go do what he asked.
Sorry for my hiccups.
He wasn't expecting someone to call for Tresca or Rokai at the same time like that, and it just kind of shocked him. So he dropped it and said, "Let's go. We don't need this." It's powder of creation, so he can make it go.
Oh, okay.
Just poof away in a white powder.
Yeah. So it's not really a food waste.
There is no food waste. Unless you grow it and cook it yourself. And even then that waste is negligible, considering you can go quick because you make something out of nothing. So much power.
What else? Mostly this is just Nathaniel and Chaos conversating.
Well, Chaos is not necessarily having a conversation except for saying demands. Saying, I want this now. And showing him what he wants.
For lack of a better word, conversating.
But there is a war coming between, a whole battle scene coming with Battlefield. Many, many people dying. So it'll be happy with that.
Yeah, there's not much I can say for this chapter.
Well, it's not necessarily death that Chaos necessarily wants. He wants chaos. You see?
Yes.
Chaos doesn't require death.
No, but that does cause a death.
But it's not helpful. Chaos is not helpful.
Chaos definitely causes a lot of death and confusion.
Well, it doesn't need to cause death. You can cause suffering, and that's chaos. You can cause pain, and that's chaos. Chaos is when things aren't going the way they are supposed to be going, and they all of a sudden start scattering away. It's really, it's the area beyond that, right? Because we had a word we learned just recently. Beyond chaos is randomness. That's what we were saying. It's not fully random. It's not just like anything could happen inside chaos, but rather it is the disorder that comes from having things being orderly and leading toward the randomness. So that's what the chaos wants. It just wants the breakdown of the order, not the it doesn't need the death.
Mm-hmm.
But battle is a place where chaos rules.
Yes.
Period. Anyway, so that was that.
Recap time.
Unless there's a question you can think of.
Does anybody ever have a time where chaos actually helped them?
Tell us about chaos in your lives. That would be interesting. You gotta give chaos in your life.
Chaos in my life?
I think that's just me, isn't it? Well, work is a place of order, isn't it?
Work is a place of order. Today was chaotic, though, I do have to say. Once a year, they do a really huge reset where, like, I have, let's see if I can do the math on this, 8 cooler doors where product gets put into. And all of those doors were being moved today. Product was being shifted around the store.
And that's like good chaos.
And a whole team comes in to do this because the store itself can't do it by itself. That There's not enough hours for us to do it. So the vendors come in, and this is what they do. They come in, they do this job, they go to another store, and they do that at that other store. And what was it? Maybe I got there at 7 this morning, and they were probably done about 9. But in those 2 hours, I mean, you couldn't walk down a particular aisle. When I was telling people, like, people asked for the bathroom key, I'm like, you can't go around this side. You have to go around the other side because there's 2 ways to get to it. People were coming in, and energy drinks, which are right dead center of this hallway.
It's a real bad blockage in a way.
It is.
If people are standing there.
Yes. And so, and I mean, I could have tripped on something like 4 or 5 times. Oh, even more than that. There were multiple times I could have tripped today and hurt myself because the amount of stuff going on. Stuff getting pulled out of the cooler and put back in. And one guy asked me for help because this one shelf needed to be moved from the top on door 4 down to the bottom of door 3 or 2. Like, it just...
It's like the back wall. You have an alley. The main alleyway is where the cash registers are, and then there's some aisles on the right as you're coming in, and that back wall is being worked on.
Yes.
So all those aisles over there are plugged up, and now the aisle to the bathroom is plugged up.
And then on top of that, we had Frito-Lay coming in and trying to stock up stuff.
Which means they have 6 or 7 boxes in that main alleyway.
In the main way. And then, people coming in to get ready for work because it's 7 o'clock in the morning and people are trying to get to work. And then our money truck comes in.
Maybe even more people, but less baggage there.
Yeah, there's less there, but I'm having to deal with the chaos by myself while the manager's dealing with the money. Luckily, Frito-Lay's come in. And then 2 of our vendors come in, too. I don't think I told you this. Our Coke vendor and our 7-Up vendor come in to drop off stuff. And...
That's more stuff in the way.
And they can't put anything away because...
Everyone's working
in the coolers in the back rooms.
That's chaos.
Oh, and then they're like, okay, we'll take care of everything. Don't worry about it. So the delivery drivers just drop and run.
Ugh. They didn't leave it for you, did they?
No, yes, no.
Oh,
yes, no.
Did they just put it in the fridge?
No, they didn't know where anything went.
Oh, gosh.
So tomorrow when I go to work, I gotta clean up the rest of this mess. Because, like, there's a stack of Coke products in the back room, not on the shelves. They're just still in that stack that the Coke guys dropped off. It's just, it's pure chaos.
Well, I play video games, and I have some... I would say Bloons Tower Defense is a pretty famous one that a lot of people know, and it's just a tower defense game where you have a track that things are going to come on, and you put these little towers down to stop the things on the track. And in this game, it's monkeys with darts. It's super adorable, and, well, all sorts of things. But it's primarily dart monkeys. That's your first one. But the idea is that you start the level, and the balloons come out, and the monkeys pop them. It's a very simple game, but in the higher levels, it becomes utter chaos. Almost randomness.
Yes.
Like, if there wasn't a program running, I would assume it's just random visuals, not something happening.
Well, you can't even see.
Yeah, it's just covered.
You no longer can see the track. The only way you know where the balloons are at on that
Is
track
because you've been doing this the whole time.
the only way I knew it was because where the crits were
Yeah,
happening
it's
on
his
the
word
screen.
crit, because they were critting on balloons.
And you're like, oh, it's getting closer. I'm like, how can you tell? You follow the crits. And you can see, oh, it doesn't go past this point.
Mm-hmm. Or there's also helicopters that follow the front. And that's how I remember where they are.
I see. So
it's very helpful. And that reminds me of the other game that I've been playing. My industry is pretty chaotic too. There's an eradication mode, and the game is automation. So you set up, you mine materials, and you set up ways of conveying this material to various things, like turrets or places to build machines. And in eradication mode, they just come at you from the beginning. You even while you're building, you have to like build up, and while they're attacking, it's quite chaotic, but fun. Chaos can be fun. Speaking of which, I finished it.
yay!
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I see that. You were doing that while I was telling my story.
a lot better sounding than I assume it was before, so maybe we should do that in the future. Rather than just try and repeat the things that I'm typing. We'll combine it all together. Thank you for listening.
Have a good day.
We love you. Stay safe.
Bye.